Not all stories start with a bang. Some stories start with a squeak. The mouse was acting very peculiar. Anxiously, it scampered for the safety of Grayson's cloak. And even stranger still, Grayson didn't recognise where they were. Swiftly standing to attention, Grayson surveyed the room. It was odd. The place felt familiar, yet unfamiliar at the same time. Each bolstered by the other, and ready or not, Grayson and the mouse strode on, unsure of what lay ahead. Grayson began to wake. His body ached, and his bones rattled. Blearily, he examined the grim night before him. As his dreams quickly faded from memory, he remembered his goal. If he wanted to see his father again, to get even one step closer to home, he needed to get into that pub. But how? A heavy-set man stood blocking the doorway, sniffling angrily under the peak of his flat cap. The Geordie lamp. This was the place. Grayson needed to find a way in. The mouse had just gotten over a cold. It seemed wise to keep its distance.
Yeah, how the way, man? What's it been like you don't know this time of night, eh? Oh, bloody hell. Reet, where you's best gone yem. Oh, sorry, you're not understanding me accent, like. Yeah, how's about this then? Go home.
These perishables look perished, Grayson thought. The day's market must have been eventful, Grayson thought, staring at the broken table. The bag looked sad and sodden. The bag was cold and wet to touch. Grayson tossed it aside. Vaseline, that always comes in handy, Grayson thought. The tin was stuck. Grayson would have to find another way to dislodge it. The mouse was the brains, not the brawn. Grayson wasn't that hungry. The metal railings were fixed into the wall. The top of one had been shorn to a sharp edge. Grayson liked to run his fingers along the metal railings, but it wasn't the time. A small tower of crates was placed next to the kitchen doorway. Maybe this is my way in, Grayson pondered. A small pile of ash had amassed on the windowsill. The window was thick with steam, obscuring Grayson from the chef. The mouse had quit years ago. The downpipe was heavy with quick-flowing rainwater that gushed into the drain. There was a large pile of cigarettes on the ground. The chef must have been a heavy smoker. Grayson remembered his uncle hammering bungs into ale barrels back at the cottage. The barrel was too heavy. There must be a way to move it, Grayson thought. The bung was stubborn. It wasn't going anywhere without a fight. The door handle was reflective, well maintained. Grayson turned the knob as far as he could and pushed. Locked. No opposable thumbs. The mouse was stumped. The mouse had never been keen on sewers. The mouse couldn't help. The barrel was too heavy to move. The mouse wasn't sure how it could help.
Go home. Oh.
The mouse flared its nostrils, inhaling the rotten stench. Ah, a good vintage, it seemed to say. The mouse shrugged, unsure how it could help. The mouse thought it was wise to keep its distance. The Geordie lamp. Grayson needed to get in. The mouse squeaked. Something about the railings seemed useful. Grayson liked to run his fingers along the metal railings, but it wasn't the time. The mouse squeaked. Something about the railings seemed useful. The mouse wasn't sure how it could help. It seemed a very big door for a mouse, so small. The mouse seemed to stick out its tongue, mocking the chef. The mouse was too young to start dyeing its fur. The mouse had quit years ago. The mouse once saw a strong man at the circus. He lifted a whole barrel above his head. The mouse wasn't a strong man. The mouse chirruped supportively, unsure what else to do. Grayson wasn't sure what to do. Grayson didn't want to get too close. The chef might have seen him. Newcastle was an industrial city. There was plenty of ash to go around. Grayson was too young for a smoke. Grayson didn't think that would help. bung was stubborn. It wasn't going anywhere without a fight.
Huh? I'm cooking, man! Can round the front! Away, man! Away, man!
Grayson didn't want to get too close. The chef might have seen him. Grayson turned the knob as far as he could and pushed. Locked.
Away, man!
The mouse wasn't sure how it could help. The crates were perfectly stacked. Grayson didn't want to ruin them. Grayson liked to run his fingers along the metal railings, but it wasn't the time.
Go home. Go home.
A heavy-set man stood blocking the doorway, sniffling angrily under the peak of his flat cap. Iron horse tethers were fixed onto the market wall. One hung loosely from its fitting. A horse must have bolted, Grayson thought. Who would leave a perfectly good pair of hoof nippers just lying around, Grayson thought. Grayson had no horse to tether. After an initial struggle, the bung popped from the barrel and out poured its sweet-smelling contents.
Huh? What's that going on down there? I hear some noise, eh? Ah, it's those bloody urchins again, I bet. Yeah! If I see yous again, yous a can in the soup, burning butter special.
Eric! What the bloody hell are you doing, man? That stew should have been done an hour ago. Get in and get to work.
Doyle.
I am coming. I was just sorting the special ingredient.
That did the trick. The chef left the door wide open. Grayson was elated. But it began to dawn on him. The chef was still at his station, alert as ever. Grayson needed a distraction. Hang on, Grayson thought.
Sir, better leave us alone, like.
What's that sound? Ash, hot with ember, floated down, extinguishing on the barrel's sodden top. An idea began to form in Grayson's mind. With a plan in place, Grayson and the mouse got to work. How could the barrel be of use now? Grayson thought. Grayson considered the ash. The crate was partially open, catching Grayson's eye. Grayson removed the lid. Ah, empty. Well, except for some wood shavings. Grayson placed the wood shavings in his satchel. The barrel was too wet. Besides, the wood shavings wouldn't light on their own, Grayson thought. The chef had a tired, underappreciated look to him. It was too far to reach. A bag of flour sat on the shelf, squashed, fraying at the seams. Several shelves were fixed to the wall, with what could only be described as shoddy workmanship. A set of cooking utensils hung from the kitchen wall. Grayson spotted a bottle of gin. It looked full, and strong, no doubt. The mouse pointed its snout towards the shelf enthusiastically. What a leap! The mouse had done it. Now it was time to get to work. The bottle was far too heavy to push. The mouse had to find another way to get it to Grayson. Bloody thing won't stay shut. I'll sort it later. I'm behind as it is. The bottle was far too heavy to push. But what? How the...
Eric? What? God's sake, man! This place is a mess!
It wasn't me, Addy. It was...
I don't want to hear it, Eric. Get this cleaned up. That soup ready.
It's not right yet. It needs to reduce just a little bit.
Leave it. Just... leave it. Wait there.
So this... Oof, yeah, that's the stuff. That'll get me through. Back to work. The chef was tipsy, but the gin was well within eyeline. Grayson needed a distraction.
Gone now, stinging rat! Get out me kitchen! I'll kill...
Eric, are you daft? What are you doing and get to work? Please!
Sorry, Mara. Back to it!
Grayson didn't think that would work. It didn't look useful. There must have been another way. Grayson didn't think that would work. That wasn't going to work. There must have been another way. The tin was warped, its lid fixed in place. It was too difficult to open by hand. Grayson couldn't get the angle right. He needed another way to open the tin. It didn't work. There were no horses to be seen, but you never know when something might need a good nip, Grayson thought. It didn't look useful. That wasn't going to work. Newcastle. Somewhere in the bustling city was Grayson's home, nestled between the cobblestone pavements and the towering oil lamps. Grayson would get there, he was sure of it. That did the trick. The lid flew off the tin, leaving its base intact. What a cozy little nest, Grayson thought. It didn't look useful. The wood shavings were alight. Ha! But it didn't look particularly impressive. How can I aggravate the flames, Grayson thought.
Crisis averted.
Eric!
Shit.
Eric? Where are you? Why is this kitchen still a mess? What?
Addy, Mara, now listen. I don't know what's been happening.
Don't marry me, you shit! You're sacked! Done! Finished! Gone! Before I wring your sodden neck!
Addy, please, just hear me out, like... Rats! What if it was... rats? All along.
Yeah!
Bloody hell!
Right. Yeah.
Grayson felt ready, anxious, determined. Looking down at the mouse once again, one bolstered by the other, they entered the pub, ready to meet their fate head on. Just one more step on the road back home, back to Grayson's father.